wife demanded, "Add my name to your inheritance, or we're done." I said, "Let me think about it." Then I hired a forensic accountant who found her secret account with 200K of my money. The divorce judge's ruling made her faint. I, 38 male, inherited $800 from my grandmother 6 months ago. My wife Desiree, 36, and I had been married for 9 years. No kids. She always said she wanted to establish her career first. That career, she's been a lifestyle coach for the past 4 years. Made maybe $15K total. The inheritance hit my account on a Monday. By Tuesday dinner, Desiree had a whole presentation ready. I'm not joking. She had a PowerPoint on her laptop about our financial future. "Baby, we need to be smart about this," she said, sliding the laptop toward me. "I've already talked to my cousin, he's a financial advisor. We should put the inheritance in both our names, for tax purposes." I looked at the slides. She'd actually made graphs about wealth optimization and marital asset protection. "Let me think about it," I said. Her face changed instantly. "Think about it? I'm your wife. What's there to think about?" "It's a lot of money, Des. I just want to make sure we handle it right." She slammed the laptop shut. "You have 48 hours. Either you add me to that money or we're done. I'm not staying married to someone who doesn't trust me." That night, she moved into the guest room, posted some cryptic quote on Instagram about knowing your worth. Here's the thing, something felt off. Desiree had always been weird about money, but this ultimatum was extreme, even for her. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I hired a forensic accountant. Best $3,000 I ever spent. Update 1, holy hell, you guys were right. When dozens of you said she's hiding something, I thought you were being paranoid. You weren't. The forensic accountant, Jerome, called me yesterday morning. "Sir, you need to sit down for this." I was already sitting, but I grabbed the desk anyway. "Your wife has been systematically transferring money from your retirement accounts and investment portfolios for the past 3 years. Small amounts, $500 here, $800 there, always just under the notification threshold." "How much total?" $197,000. She's got it in an account under her maiden name at a credit union across town. I literally couldn't speak. While I was working 60-hour weeks, she was bleeding me dry. But it gets worse. Jerome found something else. There's also regular transfers to her account from someone named Dalton Morrison. About $3,000 monthly for the past 18 months. Dalton. Her business partner for her coaching garbage. The one she had strategy meetings with every Friday night. I hung up and immediately called my lawyer. Then I did something petty. I took the day off work and followed her to her noon client meeting. Guess where she went? A condo downtown. Dalton's condo. She had a key. I sat in my car for 2 hours. They came out together, him carrying her overnight bag, the one she took to her women's empowerment retreats. I texted her, "Working late tonight, don't wait up." Then I went home and installed cameras. Legal ones. It's my house, bought before marriage. My name only on the deed. That 48-hour ultimatum she gave me? Perfect. Gave me time to document everything. Tomorrow's the confrontation. Already moved half my inheritance to a trust. Already have the divorce papers drawn up. She wants to play? Let's play. Update 2. The confrontation was beautiful? Horrible? Both? I told Desiree we should discuss the inheritance over dinner. Made reservations at her favorite place, the one where she always orders the $200 wine. She showed up wearing a new dress, fresh highlights, the works. Probably cost $1,000. With my money. "So baby, you've had time to think," she purred, already pulling up something on her phone. "I actually found the forms we need to add me to." I hired a forensic accountant. She froze. The color drained from her face so fast I thought she might pass out. "You, what?" I pulled out Jerome's report, set it on the table between her $45 appetizer and her wine glass. $197,000, Des. You stole almost $200,000 from me. That's not. You're crazy. That money was for our future. Our future? Or your future with Dalton? Now she went from pale to red. "I don't know what you're talking about." I pulled out my phone, showed her the photos of her entering his condo, her with a key, them leaving together. "Those client meetings must be really intense if you need an overnight bag." She started crying. Not sad tears, angry tears. "You followed me? You psycho, that's stalking." No, Des, that's a husband finding out his wife is screwing her business partner while stealing his money. The waiter came over, concerned. She waved him away and leaned forward, hissing like a snake. You can't prove anything. That money was marital assets. I had every right. Actually, you didn't. See? You transferred it from accounts that predate our marriage. My individual property. That's theft and fraud, and the IRS is really interested in why you haven't reported that account on our joint tax returns. She stood up so fast she knocked over her wine. It splashed across the white tablecloth like blood. You called the IRS? Not yet, but I will if you don't sign these. I pulled out the divorce papers. Uncontested. You keep the car, your clothes, and whatever's in your secret account after you pay back what you stole. I keep everything else. I'm not signing shit. I'll get half of everything, including that inheritance. No, you won't. Adultery and financial fraud? Judge won't give you a penny. She grabbed her purse. We'll see about that. My dad knows the best lawyers in the state. Cool. Tell them to call Jerome. He's got 400 pages of documentation ready to go. She stormed out. I stayed, finished my steak, even ordered dessert. The waiter comped the meal after witnessing that scene. Nice guy. That night, the crazy really started. At first, she called crying, then screaming, then her mom called, then her dad, then her sister Bethany, then Dalton. Yeah, the balls on that guy. I didn't answer any of them. At 3 a.m. she tried to break into the house, forgot I'd changed the locks after installing the cameras. The footage of her kicking the door and screaming, "It's my house too," is chef's kiss. It's pretty damning evidence. The next morning, I woke up to 67 missed calls and a text from her dad. Let's be reasonable men about this. I texted back, your daughter stole $197 from me while sleeping with another man. What's reasonable about that? He didn't reply. Update 3, Desiree went full nuclear. But first, let me tell you about her dream team of lawyers. Her dad really did know good lawyers. 3 of them showed up to the first meeting, all in suits that probably cost more than most people's cars. The lead guy, Thornton something, looked like he ate interns for breakfast. My lawyer, Grace, showed up in a normal business suit with a box of documents and a smile. Thornton started strong. My client has been emotionally and financially abused. She's entitled to half of all marital assets, plus the inheritance as it was received during the marriage. Grace pulled out a folder. Your client stole $197,000. Here's the proof. Those were marital funds she was managing. From accounts that predate the marriage by 6 years. Individual property under state law. Here are the account statements. Thornton shuffled papers. Well, the inheritance is explicitly excluded from marital property under Statute 46.7 unless commingled. It was never commingled. Here are the bank records. My client made significant non-monetary contributions. Your client worked 10 hours a week as a lifestyle coach. Here are her tax returns showing $15,000 total income over 4 years. Meanwhile, here's proof of her affair with Dalton Morrison, including credit card charges at hotels during supposed client meetings. Desiree exploded. Those were business expenses, Grace smiled. The honeymoon suite at the Ritz? 8 times. Thornton tried to regroup. My client is willing to settle for. My client wants his $197,000 back, plus damages plus attorney fees, or we go to trial with fraud charges. That's when Desiree made her fatal mistake. You think you're so smart? She screeched at me. I've been planning this for years. I've got recordings of you saying horrible things. I've got witnesses. Everyone went quiet. Thornton actually put his head in his hands. Grace leaned forward. Recordings? You mean you've been illegally recording your husband without consent in a 2-party consent state? Desiree's face went white. That's not. And planning this for years? So you admit the theft was premeditated? Thornton stood up. We need to confer with our client. They dragged Desiree out. 20 minutes later, only Thornton came back. What's your offer? Grace didn't even blink. She returns the $197,000, forfeits any claim to marital assets, pays my client's legal fees, walks away with her car and personal belongings. That's insane. That's generous. The alternative includes criminal charges. He left to talk to Desiree again. This time he came back looking defeated. She won't agree to those terms. Then we'll see you in court. But the best part happened as we were leaving. Desiree was in the parking lot with Dalton. They were screaming at each other. "You said he was stupid," Dalton yelled. "You said we'd get millions." "Shut up. This is your fault. If you hadn't been so obvious." "My fault? You're the one who got caught stealing." She slapped him. He called her a gold-digging psycho. She keyed his car. Security got involved. Grace and I watched from my car. "That's going in the court filing," she said, recording it on her phone. "How much worse can this get for her?" "Oh, honey, we're just getting started." Update 4. Yesterday was the divorce hearing. Desiree showed up in a black dress like she was going to a funeral. Turns out, she kind of was. The funeral of her delusions. Her new lawyer, Thornton, tried a Hail Mary. This kid looked maybe 25, probably got his law degree from a cereal box. "Your Honor, my client was coerced into taking those funds by Mr. Morrison. She was a victim of manipulation." The judge, a woman in her 60s who looked like she'd seen everything, cut him off. "Counselor, are you really arguing that your client was manipulated into stealing money to give to the man she was having an affair with?" "Well, when you put it like that, I'm looking at bank records showing systematic theft over 3 years. How was she coerced for 3 years?" Desiree stood up. "Your Honor, I can explain." Her lawyer tried to pull her down. The judge let her talk. Biggest mistake of Desiree's life. "I only took that money because Ryan was financially abusive. He controlled everything. I had no choice." The judge looked at Grace. "Response?" Grace stood up. "Your Honor, Mrs. Novak had 6 credit cards in her name with a combined limit of $50,000. She had full access to all joint accounts. She spent $8,000 monthly on average. Here are the statements." The judge reviewed them. $900 at a spa? $3,000 at Nordstrom? In 1 month? This is financial abuse? Desiree wouldn't shut up. "He made me feel like I had to hide money. He was planning to leave me." "Ma'am, do you have proof of this?" "Well, no, but..." "So you stole $197,000 based on a feeling?" That's when Desiree played her last card. "I'm pregnant." The entire courtroom went silent. I felt my stomach drop. Then Grace stood up. "Your Honor, that's interesting since my client had a vasectomy 5 years ago. Here are his medical records." Desiree's face was priceless. She'd forgotten I'd told her about that years ago. Or maybe she thought I was lying back then? The judge looked disgusted. "Ma'am, are you pregnant?" I might be. Yes or no?" "No." The judge had heard enough. The ruling was brutal. Desiree had to return the full $197,000 within 30 days. She got nothing from marital assets. She had to pay my legal fees, $18,000. She kept her car and personal belongings. If she didn't pay within 30 days, criminal charges would be filed. When the judge read the ruling, Desiree's legs gave out. She literally fainted, collapsed right there in court. EMTs had to be called. While they were checking her out, her mom, who'd been sitting in the back, started shrieking. "This is injustice. My baby girl deserves better." The judge warned her about contempt. She kept going. "You're all jealous of her. She's beautiful and you can't stand it." The judge had her removed. As security dragged her out, she yelled, "We're appealing. We know people." Dalton wasn't even there. Found out later he'd already moved in with some 22-year-old bartender. As we left court, Desiree was sitting on the courthouse steps with her cheap lawyer, mascara streaming down her face. "You destroyed my life," she screamed at me. "No, Des, you did that yourself. I loved you." Grace grabbed my arm before I could respond, but I couldn't help myself. "You loved my money. There's a difference." Final update. The money deadline came and went. Desiree paid back $47,000, probably all she had left, claimed she couldn't get the rest. Criminal charges were filed. She took a plea deal, probation and community service, but now she has a fraud conviction on her record. Her dad tried one last time to make a deal. Offered me $100K to drop everything and let the family move on. I said no. He called me vindictive. I called him an enabler. The fallout was swift. Desiree's lifestyle coaching business died when word got out about the fraud. Dalton's girlfriend dumped him when she found out about the whole mess. Desiree's sister Bethany actually reached out to apologize, said she never knew about the stealing. Her parents filed for bankruptcy. Turns out they'd been funding her lifestyle too. Last week, I ran into Desiree at a grocery store. She was working there, scanning groceries. She saw me and tried to duck into the back. Her manager stopped her and made her finish her shift. I went through a different line. I'm not a monster. But here's the kicker. Remember that inheritance? I used part of it to start a financial consulting firm with Jerome, the forensic accountant. We specialize in helping people discover financial infidelity. Business is booming. Turns out Desiree wasn't nearly as creative as she thought. My grandmother would have loved this. She always said Desiree had grifter eyes. Wish I'd listened sooner. To everyone asking if I regret not just adding her name to the inheritance, are you kidding? She'd already stolen $200K. Imagine what she would have done with access to $800K. Oh, and Desiree, since I know you still cyberstalk me, Dalton's mom called you a dollar store gold digger at her wine club. Your mom was there. She didn't defend you. Edit. For everyone asking how I didn't notice $200K missing, it was over 3 years from multiple investment accounts I wasn't actively monitoring. The amounts were specifically calculated to stay under automatic alert thresholds. I've since set up alerts for any movement over $100. Edit 2. Yes, the vasectomy thing was real. Got it before I met her. Told her on our third date I didn't want kids. She said she was fine with it. Guess she forgot when she needed a sympathy card. Edit 3. To the people saying I'm heartless for not helping her, she stole $200K and cheated for 18 months. Where's the sympathy for me? Also, she's a grown adult with a college degree. She can figure it out.